Brian Hamlet with NewMediaWorkshop.tv. Facebook is the largest social network today by far. With over 800 million users around the world, it can be one of the best sources of traffic for your website. But to get this traffic, you have to make it easy for people to read and share your articles to their Facebook profile and pages. But how can you do this for your WordPress website or blog, you may ask? Well, you're in luck because Facebook took it upon themselves to create a set of tools that connects your website and Facebook together, bringing the best of both worlds to your website. Now, you might know these tools as one or more of the following. The like button, where your visitors can share to their Facebook profile that they liked your website or your articles. The Like My Page box, where website visitors can become a fan of your Facebook business page. The friend activity feed that shows a website visitor what their Facebook friends are reading on your website that may encourage them to read the same articles. Or the recommendations box that can show a website visitor personalized recommendations for what articles they should read on your website. Now, doesn't that sound cool? Well, let me show you how easy it is to get your WordPress website or blog connected to the Facebook using these tools. What we're going to do is go to our WordPress blog, and we need to go to where we actually log in. So we're going to the administration console, and if you're not sure how to get there, it's going to be your domain name /WP-admin. And this is going to bring you to the WordPress login. So log in with your administrator account. And once we're to the dashboard, what we're going to do for this tutorial is actually show you how to link in these Facebook tools using a WordPress plugin to try to make it as easy as possible for us. So what we're going to need to do is go down here to plugins and add new. And what we're going to search for is Facebook social plugins. And you're going to see there's a few different plugins that we could use that have that same general name to it. I've used a lot of these, but the one that I like the most, that I consider close to as basic as possible in terms of being a beginner using these tools, is the first option, Facebook social plugins. So we're going to click install now and go ahead and install this plugin. Once it says successfully install the plugin, click activate plugin. Now we need to configure the tools. So we're going to go down to settings and FB social plugins. Now at this point, we're looking at the configuration settings for the Facebook social plugins tool within WordPress. But there's one important piece that we need to connect our website to Facebook, and that's the first option that's being asked for, the Facebook application ID. Now, it's likely that you already do not have an application ID, but don't worry about that. You can actually get one for free, and the creator of this plugin created a link to go get it right here in the top. So let's click this link. If you got a web browser that is tab-based, it'll open a new tab for you. If not, it'll open a new browser window. And we need to log in with our Facebook account. If you're already logged in, likely it'll go right past this page and show up to this next page once we log in, which will ask you to re-enter your password to make sure you are a real Facebook user. And they do this for security reasons to make sure anyone who is a spam or who's using a computer program to try to do this can't get through. Now, once we punched in our password for the second time, we're going to come to this new pop-up to create our new app. Now we've got these two pieces we have to fill out to get our free application ID. The first one, app display name. Hover over the question mark so you can understand what they're asking for. This is the name for your app as displayed to users of Facebook. Now here's something that's important. You're thinking, well, I'm not creating this app for Facebook users. I'm creating this app to connect my website to Facebook. Well, don't worry about that because we're not promoting this for any users to see. You just need to term this as something you would recognize. So here's what I recommend. Type in the name of your website that you are going to post this application ID to, and then call it Social Connector. And the reason I say that is you cannot actually use the word Facebook in your name. This is they want to protect the use of their name. So instead, I call it a social connector, which tells me when I see this in my Facebook account that this is my connection tool between Facebook and my website, mybizapps.net, which is our WordPress tutorial site. Now, the second option being asked for is an app namespace, and it's not exactly clear what that means. So if you hover over the question mark, it's telling you namespace for your app used for Open Graph and Canvas page. Well, of course, you're thinking, I have no clue what they're talking about. Essentially, what you need to do is just go ahead and type in all lowercase letters and no punctuation marks, the same thing that you have at the top, with as many letters as you can, because they actually only give you so many characters to work with. And in this case, I know it's not going to allow me to add any more characters than you currently see. So this is what I'm going to have for my app namespace. Remember, no spaces, no punctuation, and no capital letters. Keep it all lowercase. As long as you've got both green over here, valid and available, then let's select our I agree to the Facebook platform policies and then click continue. Now what it's going to do is ask you to enter this code for security check, again, to prevent any kind of spammers from trying to get in and create a application on Facebook that they can use to spam with. So we're going to submit that code. And what Facebook's going to do is create a whole new application space for us within Facebook and give us our new application ID key. Now this is what you're actually looking at here at the top, app ID. So we need to copy this and paste it somewhere for safekeeping. So you can open up your text editor program. That could be Notepad for Microsoft Windows or TextEdit for a Mac program. And then we're going to highlight our app ID. We're going to copy that with Control-C or Command-C on a Mac and then paste it. And go ahead and grab the app secret as well. This is something that we're not going to be asked for in this particular tool, but it's good to go ahead and keep those side by side. Now down here at the bottom, there's a few settings you might want to be able to change, and there's some that are required for you to have changed in order to use for your website. So for the app display name and the app namespace are two we've already created. The contact email is going to pull your Facebook profile email address, but you may want to have this send to another email address for tracking for your website. So you might have used your Facebook personal profile, but this is for your business website where you've got a business email address. You can change that. What you will want to put here is the app domain. And in this case, it's telling you these are the domain names that they're going to authorize using this application for. In other words, you need to put in your website that you're trying to connect to Facebook so Facebook knows to allow your website to connect to it. So we're going to type in, and you need to do this without the HTTP or even the www. So just start with the name of your domain name, mybizapps.net for us. And that's all you need to put for what domain name in there, the one that you're going to actually have connected to your website. And then in category, you can select a category that you want to connect this to. Now, in our case, we're just using this as a connection between our website and Facebook. So it doesn't technically fit any of these. So we're just going to leave it set for other. Now, what we need to do to complete all of this is actually select our website option here, because we're basically saying that we want our website to be connected to Facebook. Now this up here at the top just allows the app to run on our website. This option right here actually says, now I want you to connect to my website. So what we're going to have, and this is also part of what we're showing Facebook how we're integrating. See, it says here, select how your app integrates with Facebook. We're basically telling it our website is what integrates with Facebook. So again, put in your domain name, leave out the HTTP. Now, once you've completed that, you can leave all other options unchecked and click Save Changes. There we go, changes saved. Now, your app ID is already going to work, even though you get this notice that it may take several minutes for it to propagate to all their servers. So we can go back to our WordPress installation. So I'm going to select my previous tab. And now that I've got my app ID, I just need to copy and paste it into the top. So I'm going to copy this, select within the box, and paste it. That's my Facebook application ID. So the next options I'm looking at are for the like button. Now, if you looked at any of our previous tutorials on newmediaworkshop.tv, we actually have one for how to add social media sharing icons that included the like button. So if you've already followed that tutorial, which connects it to the Facebook like button, as well as Twitter's tweet a post, as well as to LinkedIn and other social networks, you may want to skip this, and we can show you how to turn that off at the bottom. However, if you do not have any Facebook like buttons on your posts and you want to include them on your posts and pages, then keep following. So what we're looking here at the top is we want a like button to appear at the top of a post. So at the very beginning of any one of our posts, we're trying to tell the system, this is where I want to show something. So I'm going to go to the front end of our website, click onto our sample post that we have here, and notice by default this is actually the new button that it adds. This set right here was from a previous tutorial that we have about adding social media sharing icons, but this is actually from the plugin we just installed. So what I'm going to do is actually tell it, well, at the top of the article I've got the option of showing a standard like button or the button and account. Now this is the standard right here, just showing the likes and then showing your friends' faces once one of your friends has clicked this like button for this article. The buttons and count is just going to show this exact same button, and to the right of it, the count of how many people have liked it, similar to what you see above here. So I'm going to leave this actually as the standard. Do you want it to show the faces? Now this is actually important to think about. When someone clicks a like button here, it'll actually show their face from their Facebook profile to the right of that button. So you can actually see what friends of yours have liked this article or who else from Facebook has liked this article. Well, that's great. Can be very encouraging for people to see someone that they know who also likes the article. It'll encourage them to click the like button. However, if your web design for your WordPress website does not give you a lot of horizontal space, or the like button will appear on the right hand side based on your design, you may want to turn that off. And the reason being is you may have faces from Facebook being spread all across your design in places you don't want it to show. So if that's the case, you can come back in here and actually select no. Now the action that you're going to have selection from here is to either use the Facebook like button or the Facebook recommend button. And though that's essentially the same functionality on Facebook, it actually words it a different way. So if it's the like button on your friend's Facebook profile, when they click it on your article, it'll say that they liked your article. If they clicked on a recommend button, then obviously it's going to say that they recommend your article. So there's a little bit of psychology to the word that you're using. Either one will work well for you. Now, with a color scheme, you can choose between a light or a dark. And that's essentially saying, are you on a dark background or on you a light background? If you're on a light background, this is the light setting used for a white background. So you see a light colored button. If it's going to be a dark background, then you may want to set it for dark, which essentially brightens this up and highlights it more so that it appears from a dark background. We're going to leave it, in our case, set for light, as that works with our design. Now you also can create the same exact setup for the bottom of the article, where it's going to be either a standard setting, button and account as well. Again, you can do the show faces or not show faces. In this case, I'll leave it for yes, since at the bottom of our design, it's very easy for us. You see, we've got all this extra room here to the right where we can have Facebook faces appear. And the color scheme, again, we're going to leave for light. Now what we have here is, where do we want to show the like button? Do we want to actually show it on the main page? Meaning when someone is on the home page and they have the listing of all their latest blog posts, do we want that button to show up or not? Now this may be based on your design preference if you want it on the home page, or you have your blog posts to set up where they actually have to click the article to read the rest of it because you're using excerpts, and you'd really just rather show the like button there. So that's the setting we have here. I'm actually going to turn it to hide so you can see how that works. Do I want it to show on individual posts? Now in this case, we're talking about individual blog post. So when you create up here a post for your WordPress website or blog, that connects to the individual post setting that we have here. Do we want it at the top of the article, the bottom of the article, or do we want it both on the top and the bottom of the article? Now that's completely up to you. Some people find a benefit of having a like button up here at the top underneath the title and also at the bottom. That way, if it's a long article and they're scrolling down to the bottom, they don't have to go all the way back to the top to click the like button, because there'll be one at the very bottom of the article. However, it may be something short where really they're just going to read something at the top. Maybe it's a photo gallery or even watching a video, and you want the like button as close to the top as possible so that they can click it right from there. So if that's the case, you can actually select it to be on both the top and the bottom. Now for pages, these are your static pages. For instance, your About Us page or your Contact Us page. Not WordPress post, but WordPress static pages. And we've got a sample page here. So this is not something that is treated chronologically like a blog post, but stands by itself. Do we want a like button to appear on that page? You may or may not want that. For our sake of this tutorial, I'm going to hide it so you see what that looks like. Same thing for your category archives, your tag archives, your date-based archives, authors, and even your search results. For those displays that are just listing your WordPress articles that are considered old, past in date and times, do you want to continue to show the like button on those pages? In this case, I can set them for hide if I want to, top, bottom, or both. I'm just going to set them for hide just for this tutorial. And remember, if you're already using the example that we have, if you looked at our tutorial for how to add these social media sharing icons, you may not even want to use this like button on any of your pages because you already have that set up with another tool. Just set all of these for hide and you'll be fine. Now, once you've got all these set and all your above settings, we're just going to click Save Changes. And it's going to tell us that our settings have been saved. So at this point, our now Facebook like button has been fully configured on our website. Remember, I turned it off for WordPress pages, so it's not here anymore. But now what we're looking to do is actually add those different plugins like the Facebook page like box, the recommendations box, and the activity feed. What those within WordPress with this plugin are considered widgets. So we're going to go underneath Appearance and Widgets. And as long as your theme has been what's called widgetized, meaning it has locations within your theme to add widgets, then you can actually use these tools. Otherwise, you're going to have to go in and import the code yourself, and that's going to require you to have a good understanding of HTML and PHP code. So if when you come to widgets, you see on the right-hand side different positions that have names associated with them, in our case, main sidebar, showcase sidebar, footer area 1, 2, and 3, then you know you've got places where you can post this. So we're actually going to add some of these widgets so you can see what they look like. The first one we've already added by default called the Facebook like box. And if we click this little arrow, we'll open it up to see what we need to add into it. So we're actually going to give it the title of Find Us on Facebook. You could have Join Us on Facebook or Like Our Page on Facebook, whatever you want to call it there. But the next thing you're going to need is your Facebook page ID. So this is going to require you to go back to Facebook, and you're going to want to go to your personal profile so that it lists all of your Facebook pages. Now what you can do is go to facebook.com/pages, which will take you to the list of Facebook pages, but there's a link at the top that you'll want to go to called My Pages. This is a quick way to get to the Facebook pages that you've created as well as the ones that you've liked. So in this case, we've got our Facebook page up here at the top. We're just going to use New Media Workshop for this tutorial. Now, once I've selected this, what I'm looking for is my Facebook page ID, and I can find that up here in the top in my URL. It's this extra number here at the end. I'm going to copy this, open my text edit program, go to a new line. I'm going to paste this in here. This is my Facebook page ID that I want to link to for the Facebook page like box. So what we're going to do is go back over to WordPress. And right here where it's asking for the Facebook page ID is where I'm going to copy and paste this code. As simple as that. Now with the width, this is something that you can set yourself or allow the box to stretch it out in its whole space. So in our case, right now I'm going to leave it blank because I want to show you what will happen on your theme, and sometimes this can help you decide how wide and how tall you want to make it. Another setting that you have is how many connections you want to show in the like box. And the like box is where it actually shows all the different people that have liked your page, and it shows their little profile picture as a thumbnail. So you can set this to as many as you want, but remember, the more you set, the taller that like box is going to be, the more space it takes on your page. So in our case, I'm actually just going to set this for 20. The show header option is actually what shows at the top, like our Facebook page or our page on Facebook. Go ahead and set that so you can see what it looks like. I highly recommend that you do so, and you'll see why when we take a look at it. The show stream actually shows your Facebook business page wall post. So if you've been posting things to your Facebook business page, you can actually show those things within this like box by clicking the show stream option. Now I'm going to do that just so you can see what it looks like. Once we've got this installed, we'll just click save. Now let's go to the front end of our website, our tutorial website for our case. And I will scroll down to see here is the Facebook like box. But notice it is stretching too far off of the page because I didn't set the width to it. So what I need to do is go back and play around with this and find out. Now you may already know what width you need to set it at, or you may need to play around with it by just setting the width. And this is in pixels, but do not include the px. And then come back after you save that and refresh it. So notice now we've cut down maybe too small. So you can do this in real time, which is going to help you better control how things look. Just change the number, hit save, come back to the website and hit refresh until you find a size that you're comfortable with. Now in this case, I like the look of this. It shows everything that it needs to in terms of the width and as tall as I need it to be to actually show the stream. Now, when I said the show header option, that's what this is. Find us on Facebook and then adds this name of your page that's actually linked to the page with the like button, which already shows I've liked it. And this is where website visitors who haven't liked your page can click this. Now, underneath it, you've got a scroll box that's showing, again, your activity feed from your Facebook business page. This is not your website post, though it may be showing links from your website if you have been posting those to your Facebook page. But also notice this is taking up a lot of space, and maybe the content that's in there is not valuable to be on your website. That's why you're posting it to Facebook. So we can come right back in here and turn these options off if we want to. And once we've done so, we'll just come back to the front end of our website, hit refresh, and you'll see now that it's removed the header above it and actually removed the activity stream from in the middle of that. Now this has a much cleaner look to it, so you may find this preferred for your setup for this widget. Now some other widgets that we're able to create other than the Facebook like box is you'll see some new ones called the Facebook like button, which you can have set up in a widget for any page. That one we've already looked at in the other settings, but we can do the Facebook activity feed. So I'm going to click and pull this over so we can see how that works. See that it's got also the option to show a header and set a width. Let's use the same width that we used in the other one. We can set a color scheme for the light or the dark based on the background we have, and a border color. Now this is using the hexagonal code. So if you do not know that, I recommend just not touching this particular section. Once we've done this, let's just click on save. We're going to go back to our website and hit refresh. Let's scroll down where we have these. Now what it's telling me, there's no recent activity to display because no one has clicked on any of the like buttons on our website. This is our tutorial website. We only have one post here. We haven't clicked any likes or shared. But what's going to happen is when anyone clicks on a like for any of the articles on your website, it starts to populate this activity feed. What this is doing is looking on Facebook for any links to your website and showing it in this box so that when you have new website visitors that come here, they can see how your content is being shared on Facebook and if maybe even their friends are reading it, because Facebook does give priority to if a person is logged in to Facebook visiting your website, this will populate with articles their friends have read. So it helps guide them psychologically to say, hey, if my friend read this article, maybe I ought to read this too because they're a lot like me. Now, another widget that you can select is the Facebook recommendations box. We're going to click and drag that one down underneath here just to review it. We can give it a title of recommendations. We can also give it a title. I may change it to recommended articles. Remember, this is going to show a personalized list of articles for your website visitor, both if they're not logged into Facebook, as well as if they are logged into Facebook. If they are logged into Facebook, it's going to show them based on what all their other friends have read and recommended. So it's going to pull all that data together and say, here's some articles we would recommend you to read. Otherwise, it's just going to pull what are your most popular articles being shared on Facebook and show those. So we can set our width. Let's set it the same as the others because we know that works for us. We can set any of the other options for height or show header. You can play around with that if you want to, or color scheme. Again, border, but that's using the hexagonal code. So you actually have to know the code for the different colors. So we're going to leave that blank. Click Save. Let's go to our website and refresh it. So now we're going to look down here at the recommended articles. Now, again, this is a lot like the activity feed. So if no one has liked or recommended any of your articles on your website, this is going to start out blank. So you need to think about that before you turn these on your website. You want to make sure that people are already liking your pages before you start to show these widgets. Otherwise, as you can see, they're going to be completely blank, and that's not what you want to show. So once we do start liking pages, they will start to show up here, the links to the different pages that we have. And I'm actually going to show you real quick what that's going to look like by going to Facebook's pages about there. Let me make sure I include the facebook.com, because they actually have a section of tools where you can see exactly how this will work on your website. So I'm going to go to where these social tools are actually talked about so that you can see what it looks like. Because in terms of their social plugins, you've got the options like this. Now, these are the ones that we're talking about, though, with the widgets. You saw the like button. Here's what it will start to look like with your activity feed and your recommendations box. Now, granted, this is pulling just the icon for Facebook because these are all their default articles. However, this will actually show whatever thumbnail image you have associated with your WordPress article. So if we had an image here that was a part of our article, that's what's going to get pulled in here, shared. So this will get a little more colorful and interactive, but you can see how clean and nice it's going to look, how many people have recommended this. You know, this will start listing some of your friends that have liked these pages. So it's really great to use for sort of that social influence of people that come to your website based upon their friends. Now, the last one that we can look at here is actually the Facebook comments. Now, this is a little bit important. You've seen the Facebook comments option maybe on some websites where it replaces a default tool that allows people to post comments underneath a WordPress blog, post, or page. For instance, in this template, this is actually the built-in commenting tool for WordPress. I could replace this with Facebook comments, which means whenever someone would comment on my article, it automatically shares it to their Facebook profile page and adds a comment underneath it. So that can start some social discussions on Facebook. The issue is using the widget is you have to have a place in your template that is a widgetized area for the comments. So in other words, if I were to grab Facebook comments right here, we can leave it set for comments. I can even set it to the 250 like the other one. And maybe I'm going to show up to 50 comments. Let me save this. We're going to go to our website again, refresh so we can see our changes. And actually, let's go back to, we got to go back to one of our post pages. So let's go over here to our home page. And on the right side where our widgets are, the very last one will be for the comments. And here's the issue. A lot of times this plugin is not going to work unless you place it directly on a post page. Now in our template structure here, this little sidebar where all our widgets are displayed is not connected to one individual page, which is our post right here. Notice I do not have it set up for any sidebars for this particular WordPress theme. Therefore, I can't use Facebook comments. So you need to be careful about that. It's really based on your WordPress theme to if you can use Facebook comments or not. Now, there's another tool that you can use to actually add that functionality to your WordPress site, and we'll show that in a future tutorial so you can see how that works, because that's actually what we use on the newmediaworkshop.tv site. We use the Facebook comments. But these are the different Facebook social plugin tools that you can use to connect your website to Facebook and start having your content shared amongst people and people liking your Facebook pages. Now you see how easy that was, just linking your website to Facebook with like buttons, with ability to show them your recommended pages, what their friends are doing on your website, even liking your Facebook page. It's easy and a great way to connect to Facebook to get more traffic to your website. Now, if you had any trouble following this tutorial or getting the plugin to work, drop us a line in the comments down below. And this is another tutorial by newmediaworkshop.tv.